October 3rd, 2025, NASA's Perseverance rover captured something extraordinary on Mars. 20 frames showing 3 Atlas, grainy, distant, but unmistakably there. Simeon Schmaus, an independent astrophotographer, layered those rover captures together, and suddenly it emerged. A pale streak of light, precisely where our interstellar guest should have been. Social media erupted with analysis, speculation, heated debates about what we were seeing. Yet something doesn't add up. That very day, NASA furloughed 15,000 workers. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's high RIC camera, with resolution 30 times sharper than Perseverance's equipment, had the perfect angle for humanity's greatest astronomical photograph. ESA's orbital fleet was watching 2 Mars Express, ExoMars. So where's the footage? The mystery deepens. Back in August, remote viewers had already sensed advanced technology within this object. A device no bigger than a USB stick, intentionally embedded in an ancient comet, transmitting signals. They reported this weeks before telescopes began detecting the chemical anomalies. This video comes in 2 segments. Part 1 explores 3 Atlas and all recent developments. Part 2 covers this week's broader space updates. Check the description for timestamps to navigate sections. If this intrigues you, please like and subscribe for updates. Drop a comment sharing your location, local time, and your theory natural phenomenon or something extraordinary. Support our community by sharing across Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, or messaging apps. Your support means everything. Chapter 1: The Object Above. Mars. Let me reveal what emerged on Twitter 2 days ago that changed the entire conversation. UFO Mania, a popular account, dropped a bombshell post that rippled through astronomy circles online. Their latest observation of 3 Atlas during its pass reveals no comet at all. It's perfectly cylindrical. The tweet featured what seemed to be an elongated structure photographed during the Martian encounter, and within mere hours, thousands had shared it worldwide, before dismissing this as typical internet hysteria. Consider what sets this apart. This wasn't some fuzzy image from an amateur's telescope. The positioning was precise, the timing exact, and crucially, the official silence matched perfectly. Here's the unspoken truth. When 3 Atlas reached its nearest point to Mars on October 3rd to 29 million kilometers away, we should have been drowning in imagery. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter's higher IC camera sat ready. Europe's orbital assets Mars Express and ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter had locked onto the target. Multiple angles, multiple spacecraft, unprecedented resolution of any interstellar visitor. Then we received nothing. Actually, worse than nothing, we got silence. Yet voices emerged from that void that demanded attention. 3I Atlas Anomaly. An account posting technical analyses far beyond typical conspiracy content, began releasing detailed observations, 10 precise points, each referencing verified measurements. JWST's detection of carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere, Swift's discovery of water and hydroxyl emissions, polarimetric readings showing negative 2.77%, at 7-degree phase angle combinations never seen in asteroids or comets. Consider this carefully. These weren't wild guesses. They cited actual equipment, genuine readings, published research papers. Next came the cosmologist's statement. Moneypenny, identifying as a plasma researcher and former BBC correspondent, shared something that gave skeptics pause. She stated a prominent cosmologist named Stephen Burns considers the object intelligent, enveloped in dusty plasma, displaying consciousness that's already communicating with us and other worlds. consciousness in communication. Sure, this sounds fringe, perhaps it is, but this wasn't hidden in conspiracy forums. Moneypenny posted openly, credentials visible, journalistic background transparent. She included another unsettling detail. We've lost visual contact as it's too near the sun. December's our next viewing opportunity. December, 3 months of darkness. 3 months with the object concealed behind our star, invisible to every Earth telescope. During this blackout, if its path shifts, we'd remain ignorant until re-emergence. Jon Stewart, not the comedian, but a UFO researcher and journalist, posted something reading like a warning from history. His source went silent. NASA's shutting down while Congress If 3 Atlas activates, ancient writings warn, the heavens will blaze with conscious light and humanity will lose its reflection. They labeled it prophecy. Agencies term it protocol. I call it immediate. Ancient writings, Vatican archives, the Harbinger, these hashtags trended alongside technical astronomy debates. How do you process that? How do you filter truth from static when the static might contain the truth? The harsh reality, within 48 hours of viral spread, 0 official Mars flyby images emerged. Nothing from NASA, ESA, China's Tianwen-1, or UAE's Hope Proball observing. Our only visual comes from Simeon Schmaus, who combined 20 Perseverance Mastcam Z-frames, discovering what he called a dim light smudge near Corona Borealis, roughly where calculations placed the comet. A dim smudge that's humanity's best view of an interstellar traveler from instruments resolving car-sized features on Mars, unless they witnessed something else entirely and chose concealment. 3 Atlas. Anomaly continued posting increasingly specific updates. Unexpected brightening, the object's luminosity increasing beyond predicted models, indicating more volatile or efficient sublimation than expected at this distance. Spacecraft observations during solar conjunctions, it slips behind the sun. Ground observations cease. ESA repurposes Mars orbiters for monitoring during the October 3rd encounter at approximately 30 million kilometers. Every detail technically sound, every point verifiable against scientific publications. Yet their conclusion was unmistakable. This wasn't behaving like any comet. Then came the shape revelation that nobody could dismiss. Multiple independent amateur astronomers reporting identical findings, processing their captures, enhancing contrast, removing stellar backgrounds. What remained wasn't the expected fuzzy, irregular comet blob with active coma. It appeared elongated, smooth, nearly geometric, perfectly cylindrical. As UFO Mania claimed, skeptics correctly note elongation can result from motion artifacts, processing methods, light scattering through comas. They're right, it can be, but it can also be genuine. We know because Oumuamua, our first interstellar visitor, showed elongation to pancake-shaped, some argued, cigar-shaped, others insisted. Definitely not spherical. Definitely unexpected. So when 3 Atlas displays similar properties, when multiple observers report identical geometric qualities, when official sources stay silent, what conclusion should we draw? NASA's carefully crafted statements confirm 3 Atlas threatens no Earth impact. Its path keeps it safely hundreds of millions of kilometers distant. After solar approach on October 30th, it continues outward from our system, never returning. All accurate, all avoiding everyone's actual question. What exactly is it? And why, during our best observation opportunity, did NASA send 15,000 employees home? Chapter 2. The Psychic Discovery. What I'm revealing occurred in August 2025. 2 months before Mars observations, before shutdowns, before viral posts captured public attention. It happened under circumstances preventing dismissal as imagination or bias. Her identity, Birdie Jaworski. If you understand remote viewing, that name resonates. Former Farsight Institute Vice President. 3 decades of professional viewing experience, holding a digital forensics master's degree. Hardly someone seeking internet fame through outlandish claims. During August, an associate provided her coordinates, just numbers, zero context, no images, no articles. This defines legitimate remote viewing protocol. Targets remain completely blind. Viewers have zero knowledge until session completion. Birdie entered her routine, initiated protocol, began describing her perceptions. Initially, she sensed spatial movement, something traveling, something ancient, extremely ancient. She characterized it as natural material, frozen, rocky, exactly expected if viewing a comet. Initially, that seemed accurate. Then she detected something unusual. There was an element not entirely natural, she explained during a later podcast discussion. Something felt off. She described it like finding fingerprints on supposedly untouched surfaces, signatures where only chaos should exist. Continuing deeper, she perceived as something tiny, thumb drive sized. Something deliberately inserted within this object, not surface mounted, internal. Someone drilled into this rock, she reported, penetrated this frozen rock intentionally, placing something containing vast encoded information. Like an archive, a bottled message, but beyond messages, technological somehow. Paused to absorb her description. Not extraterrestrial beings, not massive spacecraft thumb drive scale technology, immeasurably ancient, concealed within a comet traversing the galaxy for eons. She continued, this thing's incredibly ancient. Though the object spans billions of years, the inserted device is equally ancient. Did some distant galactic species launch a robot to drill and embed their message and technology, knowing this would continue traveling? This question sounds fictional until remembering we've done precisely this. Voyager carries golden records, time capsules engineered to survive eons, hoping someone eventually discovers them. Using natural objects as message vessels isn't alien thinking. We simply hadn't considered the reverse scenario. Birdie's coordinator waited until post-session to reveal her target. 3 Atlas, the interstellar object not yet making headlines. She'd viewed something most people didn't know existed. But Birdie wasn't finished. 2 additional sessions followed, probing deeper, seeking understanding. Those follow-ups revealed something paradigm-shifting. It's also transmitting, she reported. These messages emerge in pulses, broadcasting present tense, not transmitted billions of years past, transmitting now. When the podcast host, noted astronomer Avi Loeb, recently calculated 3 Atlas originated from the same sky region as 1977's famous WOW signal, Birdie didn't hesitate. That's extremely interesting, she said. Very possibly that's the WOW signal. You might question remote viewing's credibility. It's not conventional science. Replication and verification prove difficult. Skeptics completely dismiss it. Believers absolutely trust it. Truth probably occupies the complex middle ground. But Birdie's account deserves consideration because she wasn't alone. Multiple independent remote viewing groups targeted 3 Atlas following its discovery. While specifics varied, consistent themes emerged repeatedly: technology, deliberate placement, broadcasting, non-human intelligence involvement. One group perceived humanoid forms connected to the object. Another described graffiti, markings, signatures. Someone signed it. Several viewers sensed the object being masked, deliberately evading full detection, as if avoiding complete visibility. One particularly detailed report referenced special access, extraction, points, timeline. These weren't mystical impressions, they sounded like intelligence briefings, not psychic sessions. More disturbing elements emerged. References to crop circles, advanced spherical vehicles, hybrid warfare, invisible conflicts. Brain scanning technologies appeared across multiple independent sessions. Suggestions that whatever this was possessed capabilities for mental influence, triggering mass hysteria or hallucinations. Does this prove 3 Atlas exceeds natural comet status? Obviously not. Remote viewing, even rigorously conducted, remains within anomalous cognition, not hard science. These aren't measurements or photographs. They're subjective impressions filtered through consciousness. But they're remarkably consistent across multiple viewers without mutual contact. They align eerily with physical anomalies telescopes were detecting. Consider Birdie's description: small technological device, billions of years old, deliberately inserted in a comet. If true, what would we observe? We'd expect normal comet appearance from distant-sized dust, outgassing standard signatures. But closer examination might reveal inconsistencies. Unusual chemistry, unexpected materials, seemingly designed rather than random behaviors. We'd expect massive size, far exceeding visible dimensions, because something dense occupies its course, something that won't sublimate, remaining intact regardless of ice loss. We'd perhaps expect transmission, not obvious, not loud, but with proper instruments aimed correctly at the right moment, detection might occur. Pulses, patterns, signals that shouldn't exist. Birdie perceived all this in August, before scientific data publication, before anomalies became undeniable, before NASA's silence. She described a galactic message bottle. Now, as 3 Atlas hides, as officials withhold Mars flyby images, as amateurs report cylindrical shapes while scientists detect impossible chemistry, that bottle approaches perihelion, maximum heat, maximum stress, where, as Loeb stated, confessions are extracted. If thumb drive-sized technology lies buried in this comet's heart, October 29th reveals, or forever conceals it. NASA furloughing 15,000 employees. Precisely before our best observation raises the question remote viewers posed since August. What did they observe that were denied? Chapter 3. The Agency's Silence. Cylon 3rd, 2025, should have been monumental. Humanity's nearest encounter with an interstellar traveler. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, perfectly positioned. High-RSI camera, prepared for resolution 30 times superior to Hubble's capabilities. ESAS, Mars Express, an ExoMars trace gas orbiter, ready with complete instrument suites. Then, precisely when NASA was most needed, 83% vanished. 15,000 civil servants furloughed, absent during what should have been history's most intensive interstellar observation campaign. Official explanation, simple. Federal shutdown. Budget deadlock. Unrelated to 3 Atlas. Simply unfortunate scheduling. Unfortunate scheduling, 2 words carrying enormous weight, explaining why Earth's leading space agency went dark exactly when an object displaying 7 statistical impossibilities past 29 million kilometers from our Martian spacecraft. Consider those odds briefly. 3 Atlas's July discovery. Mars flyby planned months ahead. Scientists recognized this as their sole opportunity for higher resolution capture before solar disappearance. NASA knew, ESA knew. Every global space agency knew. The week before closest approach, America's government shut down. NASA's website stopped updating. Press releases halted. The scientist army who should have been analyzing data, processing captures, making discoveries, sent home. Only essential staff remained. Skeleton crews maintaining critical functions. Here's the suspicious part. Perseverance's raw image feeds continued uploading. The rover kept functioning. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter kept functioning. Cameras stayed active. Data collection continued. It simply wasn't publicly released. Amateur astronomer Dobsonian Power, a solar telescope YouTuber, posted October 3rd with a simple caption, "What in heaven's name is it?" The image displayed something dark, angular, embedded at 3 Atlas's expected position. Within hours, thousands viewed it, demanding explanations, noting if backyard observers captured this, what were professional instruments detecting? NASA remained silent. ESA remained silent. Only confirmation observations occurred came from Simeon Schmaus, the astrophotographer who stacked 20 Perseverance frames, finding that dim smudge. He shared through social media. Not official channels, a private citizen performing workspace, agency's WOULDN. Single quotes, T. Then came White House briefings. Stephen Miller, Deputy Policy Chief of Staff, discussed the shutdown when reporters asked the circulating question, "Has the President received 3 Atlas briefings?" The room quieted. Miller paused, selected words carefully, deflected. Briefings continued, but the question was posed on camera, officially, meaning dismissal as internet conspiracy became impossible. America's government faced direct questions about interstellar objects, choosing non-response. Meanwhile, Loeb made media rounds, Newsmax, CBS, podcasts, any platform listening. He presented anomalies with mathematical clarity, trajectory aligned with ecliptic planes, 3.2% probability, timing optimized for planetary encounters, 0.005% probability, 7 characteristics making 3 Atlas unprecedented. He repeatedly emphasized one point: we need Mars orbiter data. Higher IC images could determine nucleus diameter. They could resolve structure. They could answer fundamental questions about what we're observing. But images weren't released. On Brian Keating's podcast, Loeb mentioned Representative Tim Burchett, House Oversight Committee member, appearing with him on Newsmax, discussing the object as sitting congressman, nationally televised, discussing interstellar visitors and surrounding suspicious silence. This transcended fringe discussion, entering mainstream political dialogue. Still, NASA stayed silent. ESA released statements confirming Mars Express and ExoMars successfully observed. 3 Atlas during October 1st to 7th's flyby window. Instruments including high-resolution stereo cameras, color and stereo surface imaging systems. Multiple spectrometers collected data. Data undergoing analysis in coming weeks, they stated. Results published when ready. But no images, no preliminary discoveries. No excitement about capturing unprecedented interstellar views at closest range. Just dry confirmation observations occurred. Then silence. China's Tianwen-1 said nothing. UAS Hope probe said nothing. Every Martian spacecraft watched. Every Earth agency went quiet. You needn't be conspiracy-minded finding this odd. Just remember too, Borisov's treatment, the previous interstellar comet. During its 2019 passage, images flooded immediately. Scientists showed excitement. Press releases flew. The astronomical community celebrated. Treatment matched expectations. Rare visitor from beyond our system, deserving intense study and public engagement. 3 Atlas received silence. Perhaps the difference, Borisov behaved exactly comet-like. Proper chemistry, proper tail, proper out. Interesting for interstellar origin, but not anomalous. Not challenging understanding. Not raising uncomfortable questions. 3 Atlas does everything differently. So as it vanished solar hidden toward perihelion, entering the sole solar system location invisible to Earth telescopes. Silence deepened. Amateurs posted final images. Scientists published papers, carefully worded, technically precise, avoiding speculation. And 15,000 NASA employees awaited work recall. Wondering what essential status colleagues saw in those Mars orbiter captures the public wasn't shown. Chapter 4. 7 Impossibilities. Science has a concept called Occam's razor. Among competing theories, the simplest typically proves correct. One anomaly gets explained away, 2 might be coincidental, but stacking 7 statistical impossibilities together, Occam's razor begins cutting differently. Let me detail what makes 3 Atlas unlike anything tracked through our system. Impossibility 1. The mass paradox. When astronomers initially calculated 3 Atlas's size from brightness, the result defied logic. If that light was purely reflected sunlight, the object measured 10 to 20 kilometers across. For perspective, Oumuamua barely reached 100 meters. Borisov measured under 1 kilometer. This appeared orders of magnitude larger. Statistical models predicting interstellar object detection frequencies are explicit. Small objects are commonplace. Large objects extraordinarily rare. We should have discovered hundreds, perhaps thousands of Oumuamua-sized visitors before encountering something 3 calculated probability, approximately 0.01% to 1 in 10,000. Then astrometric data arrived. Over 4,000 measurements from 227 observatories between May and September. Scientists analyzing trajectory, comparing pure gravitational acceleration, found something remarkable: virtually no deviation. Despite heavy outgassing, despite shedding 150 kilograms per second, the object barely shifted from predicted paths. This implies tremendous mass in nucleus, so massive that constant gas and dust jets cannot alter course. Calculations suggested exceeding 33 billion tons, diameter surpassing 5 kilometers, making it not merely larger than previous visitors, but approximately 1 million times more massive than Oumuamua. 1 million times. Imagine comparing sand grains to Boulder's Impossibility 2, the solar glow. Hubble captured 3 Atlas's highest resolution image. July 21, 2025. Scientists analyzing it noticed unprecedented comet system or interstellar. Scattered light surrounding the object extended approximately twice as far sunward as perpendicular or opposite. Comet tails point away from stars because radiation pressure pushes particles outward. Basic physics, confirmed through centuries of observations. 3 Atlas seemed to violate this principle. Extension wasn't subtle 10-to-1 ratio. 10 times longer solar facing than sideways. Observed edge-on, meaning actual elongation exceeded even this when accounting for viewing geometry. Loeb and Eric Layton published explanations involving ice fragments, sublimating differently depending on ejection side. Physics checked out, mathematics worked, but required highly specific conditions never previously observed in any comet. Unique configuration coincidentally occurring in an interstellar visitor already exhibiting multiple anomalies. Impossibility 3, the industrial signature. Late August through early September, Chile's Very Large Telescope aimed its UVES spectrograph at 3 Atlas, detecting something that froze scientists' nickel atoms in the gas cloud. Abundant nickel, exponentially increasing, approaching the Sun, rising by power law approximately 9. The problem, virtually no iron detected. Nature creates nickel and iron together through supernova explosions. They occur in roughly fixed proportions. Every observed natural comet shows similar nickel-iron abundances. Borisov had normal ratios. Every solar comet has normal ratios. 3 Atlas produced nickel without iron. We only see that signature industrial nickel alloys, deliberately refined and separated materials. Publishing scientists chose words carefully, calling it extremely puzzling. They noted temperatures at the object's solar distance, far too low for vaporizing refractory minerals containing these metals. Under normal circumstances, they proposed chemical pathways potentially explaining it, but uncertainty permeated the prose. Impossibility for alien polarization. Light scattering off particles becomes polarized. Polarization degree and direction reveals particle size, shape, composition. Comets have characteristic polarization patterns. We've measured hundreds. Patterns are well understood. 3 Atlas displayed polarization signatures existing in no catalog, minus 2.77% at approximately 7-degree phase angle. Inversion angle only 17 degrees. This combination never measured in any asteroid or comet, solar or interstellar. Closest matches weren't comets, they were trans-Neptunian objects and a specific centaur called Pholus. Outer solar system icy bodies with vastly different compositions and histories than typical comets. Papers submitted to astrophysical journal letters concluded 3 Atlas might represent distinct comet types, expanding known interstellar body diversity. Distinct type translates scientifically to we lack categories for this. Impossibility 5, the ecliptic match. Our solar system is essentially flat. Planets orbit within the ecliptic plane. Random interstellar objects arrive from random directions, crossing randomly angled. Probability of visitors aligning within 5 degrees of ecliptic, roughly 0.2% to 1. In 500, 3 Atlas arrived within 5 degrees aligned. Additionally, it travels retrograde opposite planetary orbital direction. Ideal trajectory for surveying multiple planets with minimal corrections. Impossibility 6, the planetary schedule. 3 Atlas passes near 3 planets during passage. Venus at 0.65 astronomical units, Mars at 0.19 astronomical units, Jupiter at 0.36 astronomical units. Random interstellar visitor probability arriving with timing, enabling 3 different planetary approaches. Approximately 0.005% to 1 in 20,000. Designing reconnaissance missions to our system, you'd select this trajectory. Impossibility 7, the WOW connection. 1977's Big Ear telescope detected an unusual signal. Astronomer Jerry Eman marked WOW in margins from Sagittarius constellation, lasting 72 seconds. Never detected again despite decades searching. Scientists tracing 3 Atlas's galactic trajectory backward, accounting for speed and direction, calculated its 1977 position within 9 degrees of WOW's origin. This alignment probability, roughly 0.6%. 7 anomalies. 7 statistical longshots we're asked to believe they're all coincidental. Chapter 5. October 29th. Reckoning currently, as you're hearing this. 3 Atlas occupies space we cannot observe, approaching a location where physics becomes unforgiving. Perihelion nearest stellar approach. For 3 Atlas that arrives October 29th, 2025, roughly 1.44 astronomical units distant, just within Mars's orbit. Near enough, the Sun transforms from distant illumination to overwhelming force. Picture facing an open blast furnace. Now amplify that heat beyond comprehension. That defines perihelion for objects arriving from interstellar cold darkness. Sunlight hammering surfaces with gigawatts of energy. Not figurative energy, actual, measurable watts, city powering levels. Loeb made an observation resonating widely. High-stress environments extract confessions. He referenced interrogation methods, but physics follows similar principles. Heated ice cannot pretend otherwise. Heated rock behaves accordingly, and heated objects masquerading as comets, but potentially being different. Masks fall away. 2 scenarios exist for perihelion events, completely divergent. Scenario 1. 3 Atlas is exactly as apparent a comet. Unusually massive, chemically bizarre, statistically unlikely, but natural regardless. Here, October 29th initiates spectacular activity. Surface temperatures rise. Volatiles dormant for eons suddenly bathe in solar radiation. CO2, water ice vapor, dust particles lift in enormous clouds. We've witnessed this previously. Near perihelion comets become magnificent, developing million-kilometer tails, brightening dramatically. Sometimes stress fragments them, breaking into dispersing pieces. It's violent, chaotic, absolutely beautiful. If 3 Atlas is natural, we should witness similar displays. Massive gas and dust outbursts, brightness increasing tenfold or more. Proper tail development, anomalous sunward, glows but classic cometary tails streaming behind as radiation pressure works, and if the object's as fragile as some scientists suspective, that 5-kilometer diameter is mostly loosely bound ice rather than solid. Rock perihelion might tear it completely apart. We could watch real-time as interstellar visitors disintegrate into fragments, providing unprecedented internal structure views of comets from other systems. That would be extraordinary, answering questions about comet formation, extrasolar planetary system composition, processes flinging objects interstellar. Scientific bonanza, even destroying our study subject. But scenario 2 exists. 3 Atlas isn't natural. Anomalies aren't coincidental. Nickel without iron, backward tails, perfect ecliptic alignment, and WOW signal origins, they're meaningful. Here, perihelion isn't about sublimation, it's about activation. Consider sending probes to other systems. You'd need journey, survival billions of years, cold, radiation, impacts, temporal decay. Ice wrapping makes perfect sense. Ice is abundant, protective, makes probes appear natural to civilizations, potentially spotting them prematurely. But once reaching inner solar systems, approaching host stars, awakening is necessary. Power is required, with only one available source, the star itself. Perihelion here isn't stress testing, it's power stations. Loeb outlined possibilities with mathematical rigor. Objects could execute solar orbit maneuvers, real techniques our spacecraft employ diving near stars, using gravity for acceleration, dramatically altering trajectories with minimal fuel. Optimal maneuver points are perihelion, and 3 Atlas reaches perihelion completely Earth-obscured. Undetected course changes would occur now, or it could release something mini-probes. Small craft detaching, using retrograde trajectories, intercepting planets. Mars, Earth, Jupiter, reachable from this position with minimal corrections. Planetary alignment timing makes this almost trivially simple compared to random arrivals. Loeb carefully noted implications. If 3 Atlas maneuvers earthward upon solar re-emergence, financial markets may collapse. Not hyperbole's sober assessment of humanity, realizing isolation's end and visitors' uncertain friendliness. But we won't know yet. Between now and early December, we're blind. Every Earth telescope, every space observatory, they cannot see solar-blocked regions. 3 Atlas experiences, communication. Blackouts perfect for spacecraft avoiding advertising next moves. ESA has contingencies. November 2nd to 25th. Jupiter, Icy Moons Explorer spacecraft, currently, turns instruments toward 3 Atlas. JUICE catches objects post-perihelion at peak activity after events have occurred. JUICE wasn't Comet design. Cameras and spectrometers optimize for icy moons, detecting subsurface oceans, analyzing alien water chemistry. But those instruments can observe 3 Atlas, and JUICE's position between Earth and Sun provides unavailable planetary viewing angles. If objects develop massive comas and tails, JUICE observes. If fragmentation occurs, JUICE documents debris. And if unexpected behaviors manifest, if maneuvering occurs, or objects release, or any unnatural comet. Behavior exhibits JUICE, records everything. Data won't be instant. Space communication requires time, and JUICE is distant. But late November through early December brings answers. Simultaneously, 3 Atlas re-emerges into Earth's view. December 19th marks Earth's closest approach, still 1.8 astronomical units away. Still unthreatening, but near enough for major observatories watching. Near enough for extreme precision trajectory tracking. Then we'll know if anything changed. If orbits match gravitational predictions exactly, we breathe easier. Another interstellar visitor, strange but natural, passing through toward cosmic darkness. But if numbers deviate, if trajectories show even slight unexplained variations beyond outgassing or radiation pressure, then every universal assumption requires revision. October 29th, when 3 Atlas reveals its truth. Except we won't hear confessions until December. By then, watching events unfold might be our only option. Chapter 6. The worldwide frenzy. While scientists analyzed data and NASA maintained silence, something else unfolded. Something spreading faster than peer review could verify. The internet was igniting. Origins lay in America as usual. TikTok videos displaying supposed 3 Atlas images, some authentic, most fabricated, decumulating millions of views. Reddit discussions expanding into thousands-strong comment threads. Twitter, now X, became battlegrounds between legitimate amateur astronomers posting observations and influencers pursuing engagement through increasingly extreme claims. But America merely started things. India saw stories transform entirely. WhatsApp, primary communication for hundreds of millions, became rumor vectors traveling faster than fact-checkers could counter. Forwards in Hindi describing disguised alien vessels. Videos with urgent narration claiming course changes. Fake article screenshots with terror-inducing headlines. One particularly viral forward claimed global governments already negotiated with 3 Atlas occupants. Another suggested secret military mobilization. A third displayed edited images allegedly from NASA, marked classified, revealing geometric structures replacing comets. All false. All spreading regardless. Hindi YouTube channels erupted with content. Some attempted genuine science communication, explaining interstellar objects. Others embraced speculation heavily, mixing legitimate astronomy with ancient astronaut theories and prophecies. Educational and entertainment boundaries blurred to invisibility. Brazil experienced similar patterns via Telegram and Facebook. UFO communities already primed for sky patterns went into hyperdrive. Groups analyzing Amazon lights for years now had concrete, subject-sexual interstellar objects, exhibiting behaviors scientists called puzzling. Brazil's conspiracy ecosystem uniquely vibrates, blending indigenous mythology, Catholic mysticism, modern UFO lore into indefinable combinations. 3 Atlas became everything for everyone, apocalyptic harbinger, enlightened savior vessels, weapons, gifts, tests. Facebook groups swelled with members. Hours-long live streams discussed objects. Hosts read scientific papers, then immediately pivoted towards speculation, far exceeding paper claims. Comment sections became digital gatherings, where thousands shared equal parts fear and theory. Britain, with extensive crop circle and mod UFO investigation history, approached 3 Atlas, mixing skepticism with fascination. British tabloids ran headlines, carefully balancing sensational with deniable. Massive comet might be alien technology, scientists suggest. The scientists were usually just Loeb quoted selectively, but headlines achieved their purpose. Russia predictably viewed everything geopolitically. State media mentioned objects passingly, always noting American uncertainty and confusion. Some suggested Western powers manufactured crises, justifying military spending increases. Others implied darkly that US governments knew more than admitted. Perhaps American black programs had established contact. Russian forums illuminated with technical discussions. Astronomical knowledge often impressed, but legitimate science mixed with suggestions 3 Atlas connected to various secret programs recovered alien tech. Ancient Soviet-era conspiracies. Then came the Michio Kaku situation. Screenshots circulated showing the theoretical physicist apparently interviewed on television. Overlaid text claimed he'd stated 3 Atlas was conducting reconnaissance, possibly hostile. Captions read, "Might be alien probes sent earthward." Images were real. Context wasn't. Fact-checkers traced screenshots to February 20th, 2025. Interviews with the nation months before 3 Atlas discovery. Kaku discussed entirely different topics, likely asteroid impacts. Someone lifted images, added false text, released them wild. Fakeness didn't matter. Posts accumulated 290,000 views before platforms flagged them. By then, screenshots had been reshared countless times, each iteration harder to trace to fabrication. Lord Bebo, the posting account, never corrected. Damage was complete. Thousands believed respected physicists confirmed 3 Atlas as hostile alien technology. NASA attempted response. Their solar system account posted September 30th. Comet 3 Atlas poses zero Earth threat. It remains hundreds of millions of kilometers distant. This natural interstellar object is extremely rare and scientifically valuable, but not dangerous. The response was immediate skepticism. If it's just comets, why shutdowns? If not dangerous, why silence? If natural, explain nickel without iron. NASA didn't engage further. Statements stood alone, single tweets against speculation, TSU NAMIS.L. Jazeera's fact-checking unit, SANAD, published thorough investigations. They confirmed 3 Atlases, reality, discovered July 1st, 2025, by Atlas telescope. They verified zero threat, with Earth's nearest approach remaining 270 million kilometers. They debunked Koku, quotes, military claims, negotiation rumors, solid journalism. Probably changed few minds. Because while SANAD checked facts, Loeb addressed the UN. Not officially, not General Assembly, but through delegate conversations. Papers circulated among advisors. Quiet meetings where existential gets used unironically. He presented black swan scenarios, low probability, high-impact events requiring preparation even when, especially when, seeming unlikely. Black swans seem impossible until happening, then seem obvious retrospectively. Nassim Taleb developed concepts explaining financial crashes, but Loeb applied them to interstellar visitors. We assume naturalness because we've only observed natural ones. But what happens when assumptions break? Hashtag The Harbinger began, trending not mainstream feeds, but specific communities, obsessively tracking 3 Atlas. Terms originated from ancient texts, prophecies describing celestial messengers, change harbingers, judgment, transformation. Some interpreted literally